What's up, guys? This is teaksauce. Welcome to teaksauce Gaming Channel. This is the premiere of my channel with a mod pack by Verph known as Poetica for Minecraft. This is by far my favorite version of Minecraft. In my personal opinion, I feel like this is what Minecraft was born to become. So, high praises for Verph and all of his effort that he has put into this. There's so much that this mod pack has to offer. Custom flora mods and just the immersiveness that comes along with this mod pack is my favorite thing. It's a Terrafirmacraft based mod, and the realism that comes with the gameplay is just my favorite part. So with that being said, let's dive in and see what Poetica has to offer. So here we go. So Poetica is being a immersive survival hardcore version of Minecraft. It is exactly what it sounds like. We're starting off in the Stone Age. We literally start with stones. We've made an advancement known as just a rock. We'll get to that piece here in a sec. Let's push our inventory key. We have ourselves Terrafirmacraft First Edition, but it's also the same book right here. This you just spawn in with, or anytime you die you'll get a new copy of it, but to me it's just always in the way, so I throw it over there. Keep our rock, and let's see what our little guidebook has to say. So you got getting started, references, entry index. You'll unlock other pieces as you go. So getting started, you got getting out the ground and the basic materials. Being in the Stone Age, we have to create our tools out of stone, but you have to be able to craft the tool heads from napping chunks of stone that you find on the ground. You have to pick up a minimum of 2 stones in order to do that. So that'll tell you what to do there. And basic materials, you got thatch, and there's your napping. This is what we're looking for clay. And yeah, clay also can be found underneath these other flowers. That Ethereum fern is what's pictured, and that's what I've always gone off of. So that being said, let's find us another stone. This here is not another stone. This is a piece of ore. This specific one is diamagnite, which is a boron, and it contains 10 units, which is indicated by the small version. That doesn't really have any use for me right now at the moment, so I'm gonna just discard it and move on. We'll get into ores later in the game. Now, oh, there we go, and we have our first collapse, which is iconic with Terrafirmacraft. I mean, the trees, that's a little different, but the cool thing about the trees, and we'll get to that here in a sec, is if you chop down this bottom trunk on any tree, the whole tree will collapse. As far as Terrafirmacraft goes, you have to be careful, because if I were to remove, let's say, this block, this whole area could collapse on my head and kill me. So you gotta watch out for those game physics. Alright, well, with that basic introduction to Poetica and the dead end to this little river, let's make our way out of this ravine. So let's go right over here if we can. Nope, ain't gonna do that yet. Alright, this is an interesting start so far. I could just break these stones with my hands, but I don't like playing that way because it's not very immersive. Alright, we'll need sticks. Oh! Look at that. Randomly just got crushed by a block. Did some significant damage. I'm jumping and pushing left shift at the same time to scale walls that are above 2 blocks high. That will come in great use for you guys. Alright, so now that we have more than 2 rocks, let's craft ourselves an axe. It's as simple as that. Throw it in our crafting GUI. And another advancement. So let's quick take a look at that. You got the thrill of the hunt and the natural world and predators. So yeah, predators. There's multiple predators throughout the world, and most of them will actively hunt you at night, but during the day they will, well, for the most part, leave you alone. So you gotta watch out for them while running through the forest. I'm gonna collect us some flint here. We can use this. You know, actually, I think, yeah. See, you can use the flint to create tools out of that as well. I forgot about that until just now. So get yourself a flint knife. And a couple javelins. That'll get us off the ground. Looks like night is already upon us. I know that was pretty quick. I apologize because I had spawned into this world. I was making sure that my settings were correct and wasted most of the first day. Oops, doing that, but that's okay. So we're up out of the ravine and we will spend our first night right here. Alright, it's getting pretty dark obviously, and first rule of survival is fire. Well, technically it's water, but fire. Because it should purify you. That's real life though. It's not quite that real. Anyways, we'll make our fire here. We'll need a fire starter, which is crafted like such. We're gonna need more wood than this. So let's quick chop this down a couple more logs. We'll take these little bushes for now. Alright, you want a log, you throw your log. Then you'll need 3 sticks. You're going to throw these items by pushing Q, 1, 2, and 3. So 3 sticks and 1 log. Take your fire starter and right click on it. Didn't work. Our sticks may be too far. What's going on? There we go. Alright, while we have that, let's throw a couple more sticks in the fire and get ourselves some torches. Alright, You'll see that these don't stack for some reason right now, but that's because they're still in the warming phase. They'll cool down like these ones have, and once they've cooled down, oops, threw that one back in. And now I gotta wait for that one to cool back down. Alright, just double click, and you're good to go. Oh, don't run into the fire, it'll burn you. That's the basics of your first day of survival in Poetica. I probably won't go into too much more detail as far as that goes for now. Don't want to talk too much and bore you, but that's the basics of getting started. Everything else is pretty obvious. The blue heads-up display will be your water. You can drink fresh water, which most bodies of water in the game in areas like this are going to be fresh water. In fact, all of them are, except for the hot pools. A saltwater body will be indicated usually by a beach covered in seashells and the sound of seagulls. Yeah, so we get hydrated, might as well hunt us this here fish. Got a couple of them, I guess, which fulfilled our hunter achievement. Climb back up to our fire here and cook up our fish. And just survive our first night. We'll get underway come early morning. We'll cover a couple more things of the basics while we're up here and waste the night away. Alright, so first thing, right above our heads-up display, we have that little white triangle that is now facing downwards. If I get close to the fire, it will face upwards. And that is because if you hold left shift, you'll see that my current body temperature is like 15 degrees Celsius. The atmosphere around me is 14.5, which means I will slowly decrease my body temperature down to meet that, as you can see. But if I move close to this fire, now it changes. That's to keep you warm, so you got to keep that in mind with your environments. Excuse me, had a cough for a sec. Anyways, you gotta keep that in mind with your environments. And yeah, the green bar is your food. So if I, oh, hold on, I'm gonna abort that real quick and show you. Come in here, these are our skills. They'll go up as you kill your animals, grow things, make things, or find ores. And then you have your nutrition, which when you spawn in is at a base level. These will all go down as you go about the game, and depending on what you eat, they will increase. So for example, we're about to eat some fish, that if you highlight your food source, first things, it says it will decay in about 9 days. Before I cooked it, it said it would decay in about 7 days, so cooking things helps preserve them, and a couple other ways which we'll get into also helps preserve food for much longer. If you left shift over the same item, it'll show you the nutrition, so it's gonna, the saturation is gonna make it so we don't get hungry as often, and then we're gonna gain 2 points of protein from this fish. So we'll eat that one, come back in here, and as you can see, our protein bar has gone up compared to the rest of them. And that's that in a nutshell. what's next on the agenda? Let's see. This one is our calendar, which basically tells us the date and time. 1000 indicates it's the first year of gameplay. It's the second day. You spawned in June 1st, and it's 04:15 in the morning. Sunrise is at 05:30. So we're about to be underway for our adventure. As far as that goes, I'm pretty sure that covers pretty much the heads up and the GUI, or I call it the GUI, other than this search bar, which you can literally search anything in here, like for example, let's say vessel, which is all these things. If you highlight it and click on it, it'll tell you that, okay, small unfired vessel becomes a small vessel. If you click on the small unfired vessel, it'll show you your crafting recipe for that. This particular one is red, which you'll get from earthenware clay, but there's a couple different types of clay in the world, and it's napped the same way as the stones, except for instead of 2, you'll need 5, and that creates that, and then you'll have to fire it. That's pretty much the next step we'll be working towards as we begin our journey today. But that will show you basically how your recipe book for the world works. That being said, onward into the great wide open. One last thing, if you push F3, this gives you all your world information, which we'll go over this a little more in detail later. While we're in here, the first thing I want to point out is on the right side, the blue Terrafirmacraft. If I highlight an object with this cursor, it tells me what that type of object, or what that object is, and the name of it. That goes for pretty much everything in the world. That can be useful. I don't like to use it too often, but we are going to, I believe, head west. That way, yeah. So, let's get rid of this. That's your intro to Poetica in a nutshell. Day 1. Craft us some protection real quick. And another tool, just in case. And we are off. Probably should have got some water before we left. As we're running through the world here, we'll keep an eye out for a couple key items that will always be useful, and they'd be nice to collect as we go, or things that may be scarce. But I don't want to get too overloaded before we find a spot to settle down. Probably could use a couple extra sticks so that we're prepared for nightfall. Whoops. Threw my javelin. Alright, there's dinner. How about that? Right click, I can throw my javelin. Got some feathers and some raw turkey. Alright, looks like there's water over this way. Got ourselves a beehive. Alright, actually, this is a good learning experience. 2 different types of beehives here. This is, if you push F3, you have a Verph bee nest, and the one up there, I don't know if it'll highlight it from this far away, but that one's called a rustic. two different characteristics here. The rustic you can break and you'll get a couple items from. The Thermalife one, if you break it, you're going to get swarmed by bees and attacked, but there's ways that you can get by that. You can put like a fire underneath it and hopefully harvest materials at it without being stung at night or something like that. But the Thermalite bees, there's also another way to get those. We'll take care of that once we settle down because that's very valuable. Alright, so this piece of ore right here, we got an advancement. It's called a weird rock. It's an ore. This particular one's zinc. It's called Sphalerite. It's 10 units. That is useful. When you find these ore deposits on the ground, basically it's indicating that somewhere below you in the ground is a vein of that ore and you can mine it. But we can't do that until we advance out of the Stone Age and at least into the Copper Age. So we've got to continue on, but finding these ore deposits on the ground are a quick and easy way to advance to the next age without being able to mine, especially obviously the Stone Age. So you want to keep an eye out for stuff like that. And there's another ore. This one's, I believe, cobalt, which isn't too useful right now. The Sphalerite is, so that's why I kept that one. That's a quick tip that we will cover in the future. Alright, I said I wasn't going to talk this much. I'm sorry, but these are all just the basics. It's a very in-depth game. You can probably imagine what this is. This is a hot pool. There's a couple of things. You can use it for crafting with barrel recipes, as well as earlier when I had that collapse on my head before I regenerated my health, I could have jumped in here and it would regenerate my health. So that's the best perk about the hot pools. Another thing is that they have special rock sources usually that you can collect for certain recipes. Usually being like volcanic rock sources. While we're going through the world, we're going to want to keep our eye out for wild crops. There's some more of that Sphalerite. The purple flower that we just passed back there is technically a wild crop, but its only use is for dyeing materials, which I'm not too worried about right now, so that's why I didn't harvest that one. But we want to keep an eye out for those wild crops that are going to be useful, such as wheat and rye, and barley, grapes, and whatnot. And we are also keeping an eye out for wild fruit trees. And when we find one, we will go from there. I'm gonna hunt one of these llamas real quick, just because I don't remember what size of a raw hide you get from her. And if it's a large, oh, he's gonna spit on me, injure me. We'll get us some meat for later and a medium rawhide. Alright, we're looking for a large rawhide. Large rawhides come from bears, I think cows, and muskox, things of that nature. We'll need one to set a spawn point. I'm just going to keep taking all these pieces of ore that we find on the ground along the way. Here's some probably gold. These are stones that contain the ore, kind of like the deposits we were talking about with the small Sphalerite and the small tetrahydrite. Sorry, we've been picking up tetrahydrite, which is copper, which right now is what we're specifically looking for. This is going to be poor native gold. So you have small and poor, and the difference between that is 10 units versus 15 units. That's usually what you'll get out of these big stones, is poor quality stuff. Once you get down into the veins, then you're getting into normal and rich, which just increases the value of the content of gold that you're getting per block. Alright, I just want to make sure I'm maintaining my heading that I've chose to go towards. Getting a little low on water. Don't find anything soon, we will begin to dehydrate and die. And we're getting to kind of the areas that I'm looking for to settle in. See what kind of water source we come across and make a decision from there. Sound like a plan? We may have to spend one more night, which if I do that, I'll probably just huddle down, make a campfire, and jump cut to dawn. We'll go as far as we can go. Look at that. Perfect timing. Whoops. Let's go ahead and eat us some dinner and rehydrate. We'll cover campfire making one last time. Maybe not, actually. Because I gotta go chop down a tree. Perfect little spot right here on this piece of dirt. Man, I'm having a rough time starting my fires. There we go. Alright, let's cook us up there. Our turkey, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Welcome back. Beautiful sunrise here on day 2, and let's pack up the camp here. You can leave your fire pits once you find like your place that you're settling down, and all you have to do is throw a couple logs in there and just hit it once real quick with your fire starter and it lights right up. It's not as difficult as building it from scratch. When you break your campfires, you'll get some wood ash, which if you hover over something, any of these things, items, and hit the key U, it'll show you also other crafting recipes. So for example, wood ash with a ceramic pot and some water creates potash, which has other uses. So, a little quick tip with what we just got from that resource, and it's morning time. Let's eat breakfast, hydrate, and move on. More of these pieces of flint. They'll be useful for arrowheads this. Oh, look at that. If you hit the key C, you can zoom in. That is a ruin. So throughout your world, you'll discover these ruins, and they're a really good thing to find because within them are caches of special items, usually, that are hard to get. For example, right here. So, if you break this open, go into your inventory, and we got some geodes out of that one. So those are like rare items. And they can either be 1, 2, or 3, and sometimes 2 and a iron